Hello and welcome to Artful Stamping YouTube channel and blog. It's Ruth here, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. So today I'm presenting to you the lovely Lattice stamp set. This is free with a purchase of £45 or more, and we are in that period of what Stampin' Up call a celebration. So for 3 months you get to choose fabulous free products with any qualifying purchase. So this one here has this beautiful, very detailed floral design, and you can do lots with it. You can spend lots of time colouring it in if that's the sort of thing you like. But today I'm going to show you a very quick technique of how to give a kind of faux grungy watercolour effect that's very quick and easy to do. So I've already mounted up my stamp set onto my Stamparatus to make it a bit easier, because it's a larger stamp and you might need to stamp a couple of times to make sure that the ink has transferred properly. Now, can you see that little piece of washi tape there? With the new cling technology that Stampin' Up have come out with, it means that the stamps are sticking very effectively to the blocks, and sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to grab hold of them once they've been on for a little while. So I've seen this tip around, and I've just done it myself, and it works brilliantly. So once you've put your cling mount onto the back of your stamp so that you can see the design, if you pop a little piece of washi tape, particularly on these larger ones, just to be able to peel it back to take it back off, it makes life a little bit easier. If you don't do that, just be aware not to pull the stamp off by just the rubber, because this foam is in danger of just ripping, because it's not, really tough. It has to be soft because it's foam to give that little bit of give to create a really good impression with your stamp. So just make sure that you're putting your nail right under there before pulling back. Okay, so that's my little tip for the day. Actually, I might have more tips, but they'll come as they come. Okay, so we're going to be making a card similar to this one here. And we need for it the shimmer white cardstock. It does not work, this technique, with just plain very vanilla or whisper white card, because it needs to have a little bit of a coating on it. So I've cut this piece of cardstock about 1 centimetre all the way round, less than the size of my base, because I'm going to be placing it onto a black matting layer as well. So as you can see, I've actually put pencil lines as to where I'm wanting to aim for, so that when I was doing this in a class, it was easier for my ladies to know where to put the cardstock. But it's also a really good tip if you are making multiples, rather than having to try and remember where to put the card each time. So I'm using the Stays On black ink here, and I've just re-inked it. This sticker was to remind me to re-ink it, because it had gone a little bit dry. Now, Stays On does need re-inking a little bit more often than Stampin' Up ink pads, and that is because it is a permanent ink and is a little bit stickier, and that's just the way, the chemical makeup of it and how it works. So always do remember to pop the lid back on as soon as you've used it. So I'm just going to place that down and just give the stamp a really good press all over to make sure that it's transferred well. Now, to clean your rubber stamps after you've used Stays On, there is a special Stays On cleaner that you can apply and use. I'm not going to do that now because I want to get on and make this card for you. Right, so I'm going to set that to one side and show you how to do this technique very quickly and easily. I sometimes, as you know, I sometimes edit these videos, but I'm not going to do that today because I think this is such a quick technique, I won't even need to do that. So can you see that I'm colouring in really, really roughly? And before you go and congratulate me on this technique, I did not invent it. I saw a wonderful French demonstrator do this a few years ago, so many years ago that I can't even remember how I got to seeing it or what her name is. But I think I did film a little video using this technique quite a while back, and I just loved it so much that I thought I wanted to share it again with you and share it with my customers. So I've just used a bit of cherry cobbler there to colour in these flowers, and I'm just popping on a little bit of old olive, and I'd like to put a little bit of yellow just in the centre of some of these flowers, just to give a bit more depth there. And shall I just go around with a bit of crumb cake, maybe just around this area here and there. Okay, and then you're going to see how the magic happens. So I've got my spritz here with just plain old water in there, and I've got a tub here ready to protect my work surface, and all I'm going to do is spritz the paper, and as you can see, that ink is starting to react and move around, and I actually want some of these drips and this water movement to happen because I want it to be quite watercolory and grungy. So I like the look of that, so I'm just going to grab my heat tool and give that a blast. Okay, so I did pause the recording there just for a couple of minutes to dry off the cardstock, and it literally did just take a couple of minutes. So then I have this little design here, which is just a straight edge design to decorate the edge of my card, and I'm just using the Memento black ink and popping some lines. I'm not kind of worrying too much about how straight they are. It's just to add a little bit of extra design to the sides there, and you can do whatever you want. Actually, I fancy putting 3 in there. I'm just going to go for it today. There we go. So then, oh, where's it gone? I did have my layering. I'll try and find it. There it is. Yay! Okay, so here is my matting layer. So before I start sticking it all down, I want to punch out a little scallop circle from the black cardstock. Now always remember, if you are matting and layering, you can cut out a few shapes before sticking down your card and use these on a card another day. So don't waste that card because it's not going to be seen. Keep that there. Those can be kept for another day. I just want that one. And I want to stamp a sentiment onto my piece of Calypso coral cardstock that's here, and then quickly punch that out with the 1 1/4 circle punch, which fits beautifully inside this scallop circle. Just finishes it off perfectly. So I'm going to, I did have my glue ready at hand. Okay. Just makes it pop a little bit. Oh, I've managed to get a bit of glue on it. Oh, I'll get rid of that later. Right, so now let's pop this all together. So if you head over to artfulstampin.co.uk and click on shop, then it will take you directly to my online shop, and you can start purchasing any goodies that you're lacking in your craft stash. So I've used Calypso coral cardstock here, basic black cardstock, the shimmer white. Now the shimmer white is a little bit more than the general cardstock, but I find I tend to always cut it up and use it in pieces. I don't ever use whole sheets of this normally because it's such a lovely card and it creates such a beautiful finish that it is worth the pennies, extra pennies paying for it. And the way that water and brushes and ink work on the shimmer white is very, very, very different to the standard cardstock. So just to add a little bit of extra pizzazz, I'm just going to put this little S of sequin or Z of sequin, depending on which way you do it. And that can just tuck behind my sentiment there. So to make sure that this stays where I want it to go, I'm just going to use these glue dots to hold the sequins in place, which I just seem to have lost on my thumb. There we go, there it is. It's a little bit cold here in mid Wales today, and we are expecting snow, so sometimes glue dots don't like it in the cold. They seem to freeze up and panic. So you have to tease these glue dots sometimes. So I'm just going to wiggle that round like that, and then pop another one on there to wiggle that piece of sequin round. And by using the glue dots, it just saves a lot of faffing around and trying to get it to stick in the right place. And okay, and then just some dimensionals, because it'd be nice to just add a little bit of 3D-ness to this card and pop up the sentiment. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. Do subscribe if this is the first time you've ever visited and you'd like to see some more, and don't forget to hit that bell button, because sometimes I do go live and it's lovely to have your company. And there you have it, a spritzed and yeah, vintagey, grungy looking card for you today. Thank you so much for your company, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.